What's up, guys? It's Lord Botha here with another video, and Ubisoft at this point, they're coasting right now. They know their company is failing. They know there's really nothing that can actually save it, and they're trying to see how many creative, absolutely awful ideas they can put out before the company absolutely sinks. And they're forced to go into their backup company that they've created with Tencent. So the last thing they probably want is a massive scandal to get even more attention and to have more legal troubles, right? So I'm sure it probably shocks you that Ubisoft is, they're having more legal troubles and massive scandals being put into the news.
Oh, would you look at this?
Yeah, well...
Would you look at that?
Yeah,
This comes to us from Insider Gaming, entitled Ubisoft Sexual Harassment Trial Begins in France. The article states that Serge Hascote, I think that's how you say that name, Tommy Francois, and Guillaume Petrot, I think that's how you say that, Petrot? We'll go with Petrot. Were all in court in Bobigny, which is just outside of Paris, to begin the proceedings for a trial set to run through the week. Back in 2020, when the allegations became public, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot said the company would be committed to implementing profound changes across the company to improve and strengthen our workplace culture.
We are deeply sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry.
A culture, apparently, that is steeped in not just failure, but also a lot of seedy, sexual things. Hascote, 59, was Ubisoft's chief creative officer and resigned after the allegations. According to the lawsuit, he is accused of various sexual harassment and bullying instances. Per the lawsuit, Hascote said in a meeting room with others present that he should have sex with a senior employee in order to calm her. Based.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
He also allegedly asked a Muslim employee if she supported the Islamic State after the deadly Paris attacks in 2015. That same woman also had the wallpaper on her computer changed to a bacon sandwich during Ramadan.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate.
This guy Hascote is wild. This dude sounds like he sounds like a restaurant employee I worked with in like my 20s. When we would change our boss's computer background to memes all the time. Except, he's way worse. But yeah, this guy is just like the first dude. And this is just the surface of some of the stuff he did, because it says right here, there are other claims against Hascote. So this guy has a laundry list of other stuff he probably actually did. Petrot, a former game director who is accused of psychological harassment and was fired after an investigation, is accused of having mimed hitting Ubisoft staff, punching walls, cracking whips near the faces of employees, and lighting a man's beard on fire, among other accusations. This dude lit a man's beard on fire?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I gotta be honest, the whole cracking whip thing got my attention more than even that. What was the situation like? What were the circumstances where he was close enough to an employee or in a situation where he could crack a whip in front of a employee's face? I want to say that it's the same instances where he was also close enough to light a man's beard on fire. These are not normal corporate office like hijinks and things that would happen. This is like The Office gone terribly wrong. What's the explanation he can use to try to get out of that whole lighting a man's beard on fire accusation? If it really happened, is he going to say, nah, it was the guy's birthday and I was holding the cake in front of him and he got a little too close and he just, he got a little singed a little bit. He should have been paying more attention, Don't close your eyes when you're about to make your wish, all right? This is a professional environment. While all the claims are serious, Francois appears to be facing the worst of them. Yeah, never trust a dude named Francois. It's what I've learned. The lawsuit alleges that between January 2012 and July 2020, the former vice president of editorial and creative services would play pornographic films in the open office while also regularly commenting on the appearance of Ubisoft's female employees. So this guy, he was just full on Kanye Westing his employees, sitting them down there in the office and being like, yo, check this out. Check this out. Like, in all honesty, this guy sounds like the Patrick Bateman of like executives, like in real life, like the French Patrick Bateman, minus all the other horrific stuff that Patrick Bateman does in that movie. But you guys get what I mean. It's also alleged that he forced an employee who was recently hired to do a headstand in the office while wearing a skirt. What kind of 12-year-old boy hijinks? He's also accused of tying that same female employee to a chair, putting her in an elevator, and sending her to a different floor. What are the circumstances that these kinds of things can happen? How do you let your boss do this to you? What kind of I've worked in some toxic environments. I've never worked in a kind of environment where I thought my boss was going to tie a female employee into a chair and send her to another floor on the elevator.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Lastly, Francois is being accused of attempted SA, in which he allegedly tried to forcibly kiss a young female employee during a Christmas party while she was being held by other employees. So the other employees, this is a wild environment. I get that Ubisoft is a massive company and they have massive games tied to them or whatever, but why would you work in this kind of environment corporately? In the lawsuit, the woman says she managed to get free and felt traumatized by what happened. Yeah, I could understand why you might say you are traumatized by that. Francois was also fired after an investigation into his behavior. Yeah, what a surprise. Prior to the legal filings, investigators into the case reportedly found that a number of people refused to file any sort of complaint due to fear of repercussions. Yeah, well, because it sounds like it's not just the top guys who are complicit in this that are actually doing it. It sounds like you have other employees that also were slightly complicit in this, if all of this stuff is true, again. Because we just heard a story where other employees were holding this employee down while Francois was trying to make out with her. Some like Jabba the Hutt-like behavior. All three defendants have denied the allegations against them. Yeah, well, what are they going to say? Yeah, I did it. All I can say that if all these horrific things that were said here are actually true, and this was going on at Ubisoft's corporate offices, it's clear why no actual good games are being produced by them. Because everybody's either chasing skirts or having their skirts chased or busy cranking one out to dirty movies in the office. At the core of it, I laugh about these things, but it's just sad. Because not only are these things actually terrible and horrific to have happened to people if they are true and deserve to be punished if they actually happen, but also this is like seeing your dad, who was, your hero, the guy who did so much for you, inspired you, gave you great times in your life, become a dirty old man chasing nurses in the nursing home with dementia. Like it's that level of like bad. Hopefully they've straightened all this out and none of this weird stuff is happening anymore in the offices. I don't think it is. And now it's just incompetence that is actually creating the terrible games that Ubisoft is producing and driving their company into further destitute to the point where they'll eventually go bankrupt and have to go into their, super secret secondary company with Tencent and not all this degenerate behavior. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you watching all of it, and we'll talk to you again later.